Hey guys, Dave from Nerd here for Nerds by Nerds, hanging out with some of the crew.
I'm Ted.
I'm Nate.
And today we're going to be talking about the new Unearthed Arcana, the Rune Scribe, our first glance at prestige classes. I've seen some chatter on the interwebs about this. Some people are angry that they're bringing back the prestige class. Some people are excited. Now let's find out how Nerdarchy feels about it.
Well, for starters, as I've mentioned to both of you guys,
wait a minute. Before we even get into that, guys, down in the description below, there's a link to our newsletter. If you want to sign up for that, that's the place to go. And you were saying?
So, the way 5th edition presented itself, I really thought they were moving away from the prestige class option with all of the different archetypes, traditions, whatever you want to call make a choice at 1st through 3rd level. I just didn't feel prestige classes were necessary because out of your 12 classes and then your multiple archetypes, they offered enough. I really didn't think there was anything else to go to, but clearly I'm wrong. So
they didn't have Rune Master, and they weren't going to. I guess they said we're not going to make it off of a class like Wizard.
Right.
Rune Scribe, you mean?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Rune
So
Scribe.
that is interesting because it almost feels like a lot of times you could really just go with a different path. For the classes, but then again, prestige class does offer you the option of really doing a very specific type of class,
Right.
More so than any of your character paths.
And, as you said, Rune Scribe is something that is not going to fit in any particular thing. It's very magic-oriented, but it's not the D10 hit die of a fighter. It's not the, D6 hit die of a wizard. It's D8. It's in the middle. Oh, no. What do we do?
And they have their casting abilities, right? So I actually find it interesting in the sense that if you want to take a completely non-magical character and you pick up the skill proficiency for Arcana, and you can totally just do this. You could be a fighter champion or a fighter battle master and go, you know what? He's also a Rune Scribe because he finds this thing and he decides to go down this path.
Right.
And it's completely. I guess that's what I like about the idea of a prestige class in this edition is, a lot of times it's going to offer up the ability to go in
A completely new direction.
Yes.
What I liked, I was worried about them doing prestige classes when I saw this, and then I looked at their prerequisites, and there's not a feat on here. There's not. It's a certain level, a proficiency in one skill, Arcana, and then you need a good Dex and Intelligence, as if you were multi-class
At a class level.
into a class. Yeah, and you got to take your next class level, and then you just have a
No, you need to be 5th level in, your 5th character level.
yeah, and then you take your next level, so 6th level in it, and then complete a special task, which you can figure out with your DM. So I like that a way different than the prestige classes of previous editions.
Yeah,
which will remain nameless.
the actual in-game requirement I thought was definitely something that was lost in earlier editions, and definitely makes me harken back to 2nd when there was definitely far more flavor involved in that kind of stuff.
Mechanically, there's something that's very interesting too. This is very much an optional thing, so much so it's actually married to an optional mechanic. It's just another prestige class is just another form of multi-classing in 5e.
Yes.
And if your DM doesn't offer multi-classing, then guess what? You cannot really take prestige classes.
Indeed.
That's true.
So that's an important distinction.
So it's option off of an option.
It is essentially an option off of an option. And I like it. I think there's some definitely really cool flavor things you can do with it. Especially for very campaign-specific type classes or racial-specific classes, things like that, from the previous editions. Some of them were really silly when you got the prestige classes, but there were other ones that were really cool and specific, and that's an interesting way to reintroduce them. I don't think you're going to really see feat requirements because they're so rare.
And aren't feats an option as well?
Yeah, they are.
So
And again, because it works off of multi-classing, like there's a section like at the back of it, I think, where it talks about if you have a feature that gives you spell casting, extra attacks, armor defense, you still have to refer to the multi-classing rules. So it does like these aren't going to allow you to break that. Right now we only have the Rune Scribe to look at. As a class itself, it's all right. It's interesting. It does some kind of cool things. It also introduces something else in here, which is a magic item.
Indeed, it offers essentially a whole new class of magic items, and that being the runes. So it not only offers a new magic item, but it offers a new class of magic item, and it's building blocks to being able to do even more. Like if there's 4 runes here.
Yeah, basically they give you just enough.
And call, so like it's 4 things to work with, which okay, technically if you all right, I'm gonna jump in feet first into this rune scribe, and I'm just gonna go find these 4 runes. It offers you a lot to work with, but if you want to really explore, then it's something that you could create others as a DM, and they give you the template of 3 simple properties, 3 complex properties, and an almost formulaic situation based on what element they're representing. So it's like, oh well, if I want to do a life one or a necro one or a something else, radiant, whatever, that you could follow this format and create an entirely different rune to be able to offer up.
It would have been nice though if they wouldn't have just did the 4 elements. Because like if they would have did like 1 or 2 elements, you can easily work out the other ones.
They could have gave us 2 of the elements, figure out the other 2, and then
like some a battle rune or something.
Rune of the warrior.
Something a little interesting, but like give you a different template to look at.
I agree. But it's something that you can follow. The class itself, the Rune Scribe offers a couple interesting things at its core mechanic. Number 1, it gives you spell slots without spell casting. You can only use your spell slots to feed into your runic power.
Unless you're a spellcaster.
Unless you're a prior spellcaster, yes, and then you get to make the choice of which direction you want to go. But I think that core mechanic is like, okay, well, we've already talked about using spell slots for other things with paladins being able to smite and this and that, so there's ways to feed that into other situations. So I think having one other thing to be able to do with those spell slots is neat. My biggest gripe, as I told you guys, off camera, is the
runes where you write on somebody.
The runes where you write on somebody, and there's one for each of the 4 elements. It's like I don't understand, especially like the fire one. No, there's no attack roll, there's no saving throw, but you got to write on the guy or thing or person or her, whatever. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. If you're in combat, who's going to let you just start drawing on them? Runes are not, supposed to be super simple, but okay, well, I got a thing of ash here. Here, come here, let me write on you. What? No, it doesn't make sense.
I got
keep that ash finger away from me.
I've got 2 words for it. Friend. Oliver de Barrows.
Yes, but he did it with a rapier, not his finger.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, if you can do it with your rapier, I'm sure you can do it with a finger.
It's not an attack. It's not like a punch or anything. So I mean, really, like, what do you got?
Look, right? If you run up to an orc and start writing on his forehead, he's going to be stunned. He's not going to know what to do. I think that it's the element of surprise.
So, other than out of the 6 possible options, that one I'm just not feeling. If it's draw it in the air at your opponent and then you have to touch them or something, okay, sure, whatever. Just it seems, especially on that one, it just seems like something's lacking because there's no attack roll, there's no saving throw,
like mechanics. So besides damage,
you do this and they automatically take damage. And I'm like, yeah. So beyond that, I love it. I think it's something that's great. It's, it's a feature that, can be added to a world quite easily. Either, it's always been around, or, it's
something to discover.
Something that a player character could be. I'm the first, Rune Scribe, because I've unearthed this arcana, if you will.
Oh my god.
A present from Cthulhu.
Yeah. Now, although, okay, so here's my thing with it. The Rune Scribe kind of gets boned. Like, you're literally taking up all your magic item slots for runes. That's,
Because they need to be attuned. Yeah.
Like, at fifth level, you're attuned to 4 runes, and you're maxed out.
Yes.
That's it. You're doing runes.
Yes.
Call it a day.
Call it a day. But if you've got 4 runes, they're just on your person, and you've got 24 abilities that you can do. Some things that require spell slots, some things that don't. It's like, oh yeah, I just, I get advantage on saving throws against any, inhaled poisons. I don't need to breathe. Oh, I don't take falling damage because I just do this in the air when I fall. I mean, you can do some awesome stuff, and that's just using one of them. When you move into, the fire stuff and the earth stuff and the cold stuff, you're starting to take less damage from effects, and that's not even saying what happens if you got, the battle rune or the death rune, or some of these things that could potentially have, some even nastier effects.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I pointed out to say that there's definitely a sacrifice you have to make.
I'll agree with that.
In order to do it. I mean, you could even power up a weapon with, all the runes to make it up to a +3 weapon. As long as you have a 9th level slot, you're willing to push into it.
Yeah.
For the next day. But it comes at the price of the fact that you have to basically say, I will not be using any magic items that require attunement.
Yeah.
It is really the same attunement?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't read that part. I mean, I looked, and I'm looking back at it, and I don't see where it says.
Yeah, yes. Each rune is a actually magic item that you have to attune yourself to, and if you're not a rune master, you can use the simple properties, but not the complex.
No, but there's
They count as a magic item.
All right. Runic discovery allows you to attune to a rune even if you don't actually possess it.
Yes, because
So does
you
that count
actually
as
know
having a magic item?
it does. What they're saying is you actually discover it. You're able to create it yourself.
Okay.
You don't have to find it. Where Joe Schmo, the fighter, who's not a rune scribe, he actually has to find that rune in order to attune to it. Where they're saying you actually create it and have it.
Okay.
That's how I interpret it.
I would either agree to that, or it's like you have studied enough of runic magic that you know of the properties and how to work them, that you don't actually have to have the thing physically, that you just work the magic, but it counts against your attunement.
Right. So
either
the
direction.
the price of power.
Indeed.
So all in all, I like it. I thought it was a good article. Could it be cleaned up a little bit? Sure. There's some things that are a little weird, like writing on your enemy in battle. Other than the surprise factor, because no one's going to ever expect that.
Totally using that on you guys.
He's writing on me. What do
He's
I do?
pointing at me with some ashy fingers. I'm worried. I'm going to slash at him.
What do I do? You're getting you got basically four magic items out of it. A template for a new magic item. And even like the simple properties are kind of cool and flavorful. So
absolutely. Like you like I think anyone who doesn't want to be a rune scribe comes across one of these things. It's like, well, even without being a rune scribe, I could consider using that. My favorite is the wind. The Vind rune, if you will. The simple properties are cool enough that I would say, yeah, if you're playing any kind of campaign where falling damage is a possibility, absolutely, take it in a heartbeat. And you get to, put this cool blue banner, behind you. It's like awesome.
Cool blue banner.
Well, that's what the wind rune is. 5-foot-long blue pennant is crafted from silk and whips about as if buffeted by a strong breeze.
I guess you could put it behind you if you want to, or you can just put it in your pack.
You could do that too, but
Ted's running around with a flag off his backpack.
Yeah, like a stand off of a
Stand there,
his handy haversack or whatever it's called.
Indeed.
So there's also one other consideration too, is we're only looking at the rare runes. We have not seen a very rare or a legendary.
Indeed.
And rare's where it starts.
And rare is where
there
it
is no
starts.
common, there is no uncommon runes.
So technically, that in my mind, that says the class could get better.
Yeah.
You know, if the rarity of the magic item goes up, then so does the
power.
the power. Now the question is, with that rune lore, can you learn another rune, you know, or a very rare or legendary? As the DM, I might say you have to find those. You know, that they could be an object of a quest or whatever.
Yeah, maybe runic discovery could be, you know, rare or very rare only. You know, legendary is, you know, they're legendary, man. You can't just, oh yeah, I got this.
Or dude, you could do a whole campaign based off of an artifact rune.
Yeah.
Which could be really interesting, or perhaps perhaps an enemy Rune Scribe that has the artifact rune that you have to defeat. Imagine what that puppy does.
Oh jeez.
So I like it.
5th level, when you attune to a rune, you can choose to have it not count towards your limit on attuned magic items.
Which is why you can get the 4 instead of the standard 3.
Oh, you can attune to only one such. Oh, I read the next sentence after I told you guys.
You're like, no, I found the
I've
loophole."
discovered nothing. I've discovered nothing.
The rune of nothing, the most powerful rune of all.
All right. So you can basically, like, if you're like, oh, I really want 3 runes and a sword or something.
Yes.
Then you can be like, you know, when you get to the 10th level,
Yes.
you can have that.
Pretty much, but you know, you can always dump a 6th level spell
But I mean,
to have a +2 weapon.
I don't know. I think I'm the only DM in our group that gives out that much magic. By 10th level, you got to worry about having 4 attunement slots. Besides,
Scott.
Scott.
Scott, you're like, oh my
Right.
god, what do I do with all the attunement? Great Scott.
Great Scott.
Indeed, great Scott.
Yeah. I don't make it much of it. It's not really an issue in my game
Yeah.
Yeah.
as of yet. Guys are only 5th level. What do you want from me?
Something. Anything.
There's people with magic items.
Yeah.
Titles, magic items. That's
It's another video for Ted to gripe about.
So overall, vote. I
give
say
it
yeah.
thumbs up. I like it. It's flavorful, decent.
it gives you, you know, as I said, templates for magic items. It's an enriched culture, you know, in jam-packed in small pages. It tells you, you know, all right, here's how to build requirements for a prestige class. Here's one. I'm incredibly happy with this article.
It could be a slippery slope, I will say that. But if they stay with the requirements the way they are, like this class really makes you make a hard choice. Like if you want a staff of the Magi and you're a caster, this class, you have to choose between being able to have your runes or get a staff of the Magi.
Staff of the freaking Magi.
Exactly.
I'll do rune casting on the
Staff
side.
of,
man.
staff of the Magi
Rune
on
Scribe.
one hand, 3 runes in your pack.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, sure, you could do that.
But then where's Heroic of the Archmage go?
Exactly, that's my point. Like this prestige class makes you make a hard choice. Like,
It's not like anyone in our group is getting a Staff of the Magi and a Robe of the Archmagi in the same campaign, so... Well,
you never know. Anything could happen.
I have a dream. I have a dream.
I don't have any mages in my game, so don't worry about it.
So.
It's not what
It's like Shattered Realms.
All
It's
right.
not Shadow Realms. All right, with that, you guys let us know what you think of the new Prestige class. What do you think about Prestige classes in general, and what do you think is the Master Runes as magic items? Let us know in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can head over to nerdarchy.com and check out the cool articles there.
You can also check out Unearthed Arcana, the store, while you're there.
So until next time,
Stay
stay
nerdy.
nerdy.